Okay, we are back for what I would call, as I mentioned a moment ago, the marquee event. This is right up Dewey's wheelhouse. A blue-white... Fair to call this Miracles, Dewey?
Yes.
Fair to call it Miracles. All right, so control deck, obviously. Man. I don't think I can keep this hand. This is the first die roll we lost, so we've been pretty lucky. Then we're going to hit a second mulligan that we're going to have to get. Oy. This one's not good either, but I do think it's a keeper. All right, so we have to get rid of 2. Get rid of one of those. Do I keep this card here? It's tough. Like, it has a lot of upside. And I think because of that, I'm going to keep, and I'm going to get rid of that and just keep the quick draw instead of the delayed draw. All right.
So speaking of delayed draw, I'm going to cast a Portent on my first turn.
Very, very good. This card's probably super cheap when it comes to budget too, right?
Yeah, like 10 cents or 8 cents.
Yeah, like what's a ponder running, do you know?
$1.50-ish, maybe slightly more, maybe slightly less.
Okay. But still, that's kind of expensive. Is that card... That's a good draw for us. Is that card restricted, Ponder?
It used to be, but is no longer, I believe.
Ah, interesting.
People in the comments can correct me if that's not the case.
Yeah, and do so in the most aggressive manner, too. Everybody's known for being really good in comments. Actually, I've yet to have, like, a nasty comment. I've been making videos for a while, too, so... That was some of the problems I had with some of the like blue deck lists that I was maybe trying to throw together at some point. It was I'm like, oh yeah, you get to play Ponder and Preordain and all these different cards, and then I'm like, oh wow, I've added nothing of significance, and I'm at $7 already or whatever.
Yep.
All right. Okay. How do we navigate this turn here? Okay, I think we play this, and I think we play this. And then do cycling. Do I need another green? I don't think I do, so swamp is probably adequate. And my graveyard should be highlighting for no particular reason. Yeah, I wonder what could be going on over here. We're probably running... Okay, not running into a counterspell, but 100% running into Swords to Plowshares here. Oh, wow. But playing right into that damn Terminus. Alright, that's kind of the brutal thing about Terminus in this particular matchup is it actually doesn't go to the graveyard, and that is particularly rough for me. A card that was kind of secret MVP when we had played previous matchups with this was the Hissing Quagmire. Unfortunately, I had to cut down to keep the deck in budget, so I only have one of those now. But drawing one any minute now wouldn't be the most terrible thing in the world. Obviously, the draw we had was a good aggressive draw. But really, the best draws for this deck against him are going to revolve around having a Planeswalker. Whew. Okay.
Just an awkward staring contest.
Yeah, at least I'm hitting my land drops, I guess. Alright. You probably don't like playing that Mystic Sanctuary. Do you have ways to pick it? Yeah, do you have ways to pick it up?
No, I've been considering something like a Gush or maybe even something like a Cryptic Command or Thwart, but I haven't gotten around to trying.
I guess Cryptic Command is pretty cool. What is the... I wonder what the cost of that. That's still got to be pretty expensive yet, right?
I think they were reasonable within the limits of this format, but like I can't remember off the top of my head. Yeah, I can look it up real quick while we're...
we can comment. Everybody comment what their the price of cryptic commands are on TCG mid?
Ooh, $1.83, so it's a bit spendy. But like some of that gush is like 90 cents, and like you could return in theory 2 Mystic Sanctuaries with it. So that could be an option, but at the same time, like you really want to be making all of your land drops with this deck. So
yeah, I also think though if you have one of cryptic command for $1.80 something, probably like if you have a little money in the budget to spend, like that's not terrible.
yeah.
All right.
Or like Deprive, even that could be an option. Like blue, counter target spell. You have to bounce a land as part of its cost.
All right, what do we have going on? We don't have really anything going on right now. So as any deck has, there is just a fail rate. We might be hitting that right now. Okay. On the bright side, we don't really... I don't want to say we don't care about Narset, because obviously that's going to generate him some card advantage, but it could be worse. Alright. Alright, and there's no real reason to sandbag our lands. At a certain point, he starts hitting his land drops, and for us, it's... I don't want to say it's game over, but it's just going to be real hard for us to... We need to have a quicker start than what we did. Or maybe not a quicker start, a more sustainable start is a better word for that. Did you discard the hand size?
I did, yeah. I discarded Terminus.
Okay, I was going to say. I also failed to find on that Oath of Nissa. So,
rough.
Good deck building, if you ask me. Alright. So, I'm super glad that I added extra time onto... Oh, okay, so this is a new one. I haven't seen this one. You reveal the first card you draw at each turn. When you do, reveal an instant sorcery, and you may cast that the copy of it. When it dies or is put in exile from play, you may put it... Wow. I mean, I guess I just do this, but it's not a great feeling. That is for sure. So there's just like no... Is there any way to like get rid of that? Like,
You could counter it basically, or like put it in my library somehow.
okay.
But it's tricky against most standard removal spells.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. This we definitely kind of need, but we're about to get dressed down, I would imagine. Maybe not. What are we trying to do here? I think we just try to run this. We're going to go in for 20 with a Stitcher Supplier. I think that's our game plan at this point. Not restricted Brainstone. Doing all the heavy lifting right now. There it is. That's gonna win us the game right there. Not actually, but I mean, it's gonna be one of the more relevant things that we can draw. All right, 7 cards in hand. Alright, folks, you're about to see something crazy that you've probably not really seen before.
Oh, activate and then cast Togak with it?
Yeah.
Nice.
actually, I have to do this first. Man, that calf net is a pain. That How much that run into your budget? This is a new one. I wasn't prepared for that one.
$1.61, so a bit spendy.
Should have added mana, but that's okay. Wait, what got countered?
I countered the therapy.
Okay. Alright, let's hope that this goes through. Surge. I think we just have to. I mean, otherwise it just dies right away. Man, that's hard to deal with. You gonna activate that floodplain?
I'm not.
So basically, I tried to navigate that turn for us to get a Grisk. It ended up happening, but at what cost? Like, we weren't able to get a Hogak in, and the odds of him having another Swords is pretty high. What do we got now? Oh boy, just getting wrecked here. The first couple times we have played this matchup, it seemed pretty even. Right now, it is feeling like a bit of a blowout, frankly. Alright, what do we got here? We got 7 different types. A Tarmogoyf would be huge. Alright. Take that, I guess. Play Grimflater. Cast or make a Jabroni. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, we got him. Got him to shuffle the thing away. But the Dream Trawler is probably better. Alright. Kind of figured. I think now is a decent time to just go ahead and therapy again. I think we know he has a Brain Surge, so that's what we're going to go for. He also has a Dress Down. We'll hit Brain Surge. Glad I picked Brain Surge. Alright. I just still don't know if I can overcome this Trawler. Basically, I have to have 2 removal spells. One's got to be instant speed. Yep. You want to cast Dress Down, you'll draw a card, and that will get bigger.
I'm good.
Alright. Oh, it draws a card, too. Alright, Grisk is going to be dead. Alright. And if that thing didn't have lifelink, we might be able to race a little bit. All right, let's see what we can do. So now we're starting to at least... Oh, he could have drawn so many different things on those 2 draws. Okay. And I think we just gotta make him keep attacking that and not me. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Don't swords me. So now I'm thinking about whether I could ball therapy or not, but I just don't even know what it... Like, I know I could hit a dress down or a terminus. I secretly want him to cast terminus is the problem. But I don't think he's got so much card advantage going on. Is tapping the Dream Trawler part of the cost to get the hexproof? No.
Just discarding a card.
Okay. Yeah, I think... we just go ahead and... Council's Judgment, okay. Alrighty. You can go. It's so unfair that I can't spend mana to cast my Hogak. It's so unfair. Alright. So I think what we're seeing is if we let the game get too late and don't have a good board presence by the time he lands something like a Dream Trawler, we are absolutely not in a good position. Alright. Okay, and now he's got a Kefman. I do not think I'm capable of coming back from this. So the question is now more or less, what's our sideboard gotta look like when because we know he's got some creatures that are impactful, but they're not what we need. And is that Kefnet? Let me guess, it's a 4/5, right? I have a thing covering it up. It sure is. What a convenient blocker. Alright. Oh, wow. That's restricted, Dewey. Oh, my gosh. That card still goes in your hand, right?
Yeah, so it's just the copy that gets cast, okay, and then cool.
That card's... I like this little build that you have.
Thank you.
So I think I just got to call this one quits.
Right.
All right. Okay, so that was a rough one for us. Had a little bit of a slow start. And now we got to think about how can we improve our game plan. I can tell you right now, I don't love this card anymore. He's got 2/5 toughness, so that is not a good feeling. I do not mind these 2 cards, though. And so then what's going to come out? Probably these 2. I think if we don't mold to 5 and we get a fast little start, we give ourselves at least a good chance. I think that we have a hard time winning fast enough unless we can get that like turn 2 Hogak or turn 2 Grist on the battlefield. You know what we haven't done on video yet this time around, Dewey, is
what's that?
The flip Grist. think
Oh,
when we
yeah.
played last time, I felt like that was like every other game I had
Mm-hmm.
one. Just hasn't happened to be the case this time around. So I'm going to sideboard light in this game and hope that it does the job. 10-minute game 1. Good thing I gave us a little extra time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, looking at this. Could be great. Could flop. I feel like that's every hand we get. So let's try it out.
Mulligan, and I will keep this 6.
All right. We'll take that 1 card advantage if we can. All right. This land has the opportunity to come into play untapped, so we're going to play this one first. Take a peek at what Doomman's going to draw. You might as well just shuffle your deck. You don't need that card. All right. Okay, so that's just like a terramorphic expanse, essentially. All right, let's see what we got here. All right, so this is gonna have to happen since we know we can. So this is why the baubles do come in handy sometime. I mentioned that in the, what do you call it? Deck. So we know that he has a Swords to Plowshares. We don't particularly like that. He also has a balance. What a jerk. Alright, so then let's get rid of the Swords to Plowshares. Play a Necroblossom Snarl. Pass turn. And now we have a pretty healthy graveyard with nothing to do with it. Very stream tapped. Okay, bobble it up. Okay. I think based on that draw, what we're gonna do is we're gonna cast this here. See what we get. And I think we're just gonna go and hit him again. I don't want to deal with a balance right now. I'm just feeling his graveyard, you know? And then play my land. Pass turn. Draw a card. Alright. Wondering if I could have turned on some of these, but they seem like they could have been good. Alright, so we're gonna run something into a counterspell. That is just scary enough that it might have him pull the trigger. Getting all the snarls. Remember the other day when I was bragging about how the snarls come into play untapped a lot, and then I just play 4 tap lands in a row. Okay. We knew he had that. Alright, probably digging for a land, I would imagine. Nothing like that. Okay. Alright. That's a good card. But we saw in one of the matches earlier, I can fight through some of these single-use... what do you call it? The single-use graveyard hate, or whatever they're called. So he's probably considering using the crypt right now in case I have a Hogak. So what I would imagine is going through his mind. So he's just got to play the pros and cons of that. think either way it should work out okay for us because we at least get to mill after that. We didn't particularly need 3 lands in a row either, so that's going to be useful for us. So he can pretty much can cruise right now, I'd imagine, is going to be the route. Or dig through time. Heck of cards right there. Dig through time, treasure cruise. Dang, I'm already down to 16 minutes on this clock. 26 minutes in the recording. That's what's the real wild part. Alright. Yeah, I'm gonna put that back on top. He is. Wasn't sure if that was gonna be an option or not, given that he was doesn't have anything in the graveyard. Or is it non-optional?
I can choose to not put something on top.
Okay.
If I want.
So I'm gonna swamp. Put the swamp in play. Plus a grist. Alright, and then I just don't see any better time than the present. 2, 3, 4, 5. Man, they undercosted Hogan. Alright, counter him. Honestly, probably not the end of the world here because we still have a grist in play, and I think grist is actually more important than the Hogak. The Hogak's nice because it's a faster clock, but the grist is just more reliable in what it brings to the table for us. But I can tell you right now, I am very scared of a scrap trawler, or not a scrap trawler, dream trawler. Alright, he's got to reveal what he gets here. We don't like seeing that. I think one thing that is powerful about your deck, Dewey, against mine is that the removal and the sweepers are like particularly good. Like they exile or they're not putting them back in the graveyard, essentially.
Yeah, it's not like Wrath of God or Depopulate or whatever. Yeah, I agree.
So this can just be a game where we try to do the insect token beats, you know what I mean? Sometimes you just get your face beaten with the Stitcher Supplier. I think I gotta go face is the place, or do I go... Maybe I go 2 at Narset. So then that will deny him a card.
I think that's good.
Figured that was coming at some point. The man land's pretty hard for him to deal with. I don't know if he's playing Celestial Colonnade or not, but I know that was a huge issue card for me the first time we played. Okay. So we're just kind of waiting on a turn to rear its head here. If he gets a land and a Terminus, he's going to be able to play besides that land, with the exception of that land. Okay. Alright, so now he could be setting up for a Terminus here. If that is the case, it's going to set us back a little bit, but we have this grist still doing its thing. Slowly but surely getting our graveyard a little beefier. And I think we go all at Dewey's face. Oath and this is not drawing a card, so I should be able to...
And this stops the card after the first. So like, let's say if you had a Street Wraith, you could cycle that on my turn to still get value out of it.
Yeah, for sure. I was just thinking about that. So he knows that I have a Street Wraith because that's what I revealed. If I use it right now, Narset's going to stop it. But if I just wait until his turn, then I'm still getting my card. So I just have to remember his turn to draw. I really don't think that's a huge setback, anything worth worrying about. Getting the Nissa, I think I just want to get him dead before he can try to really do anything else with that. I also think it's, to some extent, it's kind of a W if I can get him to pop a Terminus on a Stitcher Supplier and like 4 insect tokens. The thing is, it's just going to take me forever to rebuild that back up. How about the Brainstones? You played the full 4 set of Brainstones?
Just 3.
Just 3? Alright, so we've seen the set. Okay. So now we can go ahead, cycle, and get our card. Okay, that's an interesting draw. So that gives us some options here. I think we're currently at the point where we just are bailing on the Delirium play. We just kind of don't really care about that at this particular point. So that's a really, really good draw for us right now. Because we're just going to go ahead and set this. And now the question is, do we name Counterspell or do we name Swords to Plowshares? Both are really good. He might even counter this if he has one, but... he could also Brainstone away anything that he wants to potentially hide. But then that might ruin a future setup of a Terminus on my turn.
That's really tricky. I think I just take it.
Shoot. What does that mean he has if he's just going to let this resolve? I think that, to me, that's kind of hinting that he might have a Terminus in his hand. There's nothing worth him swordsing right now. Because if he has a Terminus in his hand, the reason why he wouldn't Brainstone, unless the other card, this has got a lot trickier. I think I'm going to name Swords to Plowshares because this is the card I think I get wrecked by the hardest. Alright, I have no idea what Calamity's Wake is.
So it exiles graveyards, and then players can't play non-creature spells this turn, and then it gets exiled.
Instant?
Yeah.
Yikes. Okay. Alright, so he's gonna definitely pop that card. Right now. So I guess it's better to know about it now than to get super blown out by it. Yeah, so what we were trying to do is we were trying to play a Grist, play a Hogak so we can flip the Grist and have 2 Planeswalkers. In that particular circumstance, I really like our odds of winning at that point. Because 2 Planeswalkers is going to be tough for him to come back from, but we currently have him on a 3-turn clock, so... Gonna have 2 cards in hand. I think we're getting close to the point. If he's got the Terminus, he has to use it at this point. Dewey, did you have the mana to go dig through time first, then your Calamity's Wake?
I did, but then you could have therapied away my Entreat the Angels.
Okay. Well, I'm saying on the... I can't think of what I'm trying to say. I'm saying on the... like in response to the Grist. No, that wouldn't make... yeah. Like cast your Dig Through Time, then... I guess it doesn't matter, does it? Alright. So now we've got some issues here. Close out your own stuff, Dewey. All right. We have some play. It's just gonna be tight. Don't like you doing that, but what needs to be done needs to be done. Okay. I think we go ahead and just trade a token for a angel.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pretty good trade. I don't know why it's asking me if that's okay. And I think we grasp another. I think we just got to try to put it. We got to try to win it like right here over the next couple turns. Because like, oh, I don't like over-committing to the board here. It wouldn't blow my mind if he has a terminus lined up, but the sequencing of that seems a little bit weird, so we're just gonna. You do know that has death touch, right?
What is that?
The grist.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So 5. Probably drawing a card here that at best shows that the card he possibly drew wasn't the answer he wanted, unless it's exactly the card he needs, like a trawler. Oh. Or it's his dig through time, right? Yeah. Okay. So he clearly put the dig through time back on top with the brainstone. Man. We're going to be a bit short on damage here because he's likely going to find something good. Which puts us in a big position. Okay, that's a solid draw. Because then we're just one bit closer to Delirium. I have a creature in my... But there's a Narset. Basically what it comes down to is, can I get Delirium? If I can get Delirium, I'm going to win the game. But I don't think I can get Delirium unless I do this. Okay. I think I got a game plan. I'm going to take this card. I'm going to put those back in any order. Assuming that I'm able to cast whatever I want. I'm going to sacrifice an insect to kill this angel. We ended up grinding through that Entreat the Angels way better than I thought, and then we just need this to survive. If this goes through, that should be good, because then I get a Planeswalker in the battlefield. I guess he could still have a Swords to Plowshares here. Jeez. Okay, so... That was a tough one. That was actually a really, really good game.
That was, yeah.
Yeah. I think that shows what the deck is capable of doing. If we get that early grist just generated so much value over time. I almost just need it down earlier. So we're going to be on the draw. Do I need to add anything or take anything away? I think I just run this back. I have enough interaction. I didn't see any of the creatures, so it makes me wonder if these need to go. Like if he had sideboarded those out, but there's not anything I think worth bringing out. So I think I just stick with the gut, what the gut says. All right. All right. It was very fitting that we go to game 3 on this one, Dewey. The main event. Probably going to be an hour-long video. That's all right. I mean, never hurt anybody. What are we at right now? We're at 40 minutes, so that's all right. Dang, dude. Dang. And this is what happens when you play 18 lands. Sometimes you just end up with none of them. If I had 1 green, this is probably keepable, but I don't have anything, so I got a mulligan. This is almost worse than the first one, because then now I don't have any way to draw into anything. But if I do draw something, it's pretty good. Well, I'm not gonna like how this goes. Okay. Keepable. We'll keep this. I think we actually got to get rid of this guy. And this, and then I think we gotta just hope that this bobble plays us into something playable. A land would be huge. Okay. Okay. All right. Don't love going to 7 on game 3, but you know that happens. Probably happening a little too much. It does maybe question the land count, but we just have so much draw that we can get into it pretty quick. Okay, so we know he's got a Swords to Plowshares. He's drawing a card. We're gonna cast this. Okay. Then we got a basic land cycle, a swamp. Play a swamp. And we're gonna hit his swords. Okay. Did you have a portent, or was that from previously? Do you have?
I cast one on my turn, and then had one
Okay. Yep.
as well. So
It's just like the reveal thing is kind of awkward. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Okay. So right now we're in a hunt for a land, real bad. If we can get a land, we have a halfway decent shot because we know what he's drawing. All right, there it is, off the bobble. And if we're gonna have a shot, it was gonna start with that grist resolving. And then I think we have to do this, and then we can get those 2 Terminus out of his hands. Potentially, I forgot that fetch land taps for a mana, if I'm going to be completely honest with you right now. So that's not a great play, but I think either way, forcing the issue is good. Unpause. Here we go. All right, so I don't know what happened. My recording stopped, but now we're back. I'm Cabal therapying for a second time here, and we need to cast. It's OJU, and it's Exemplar, right?
Yep.
Exemplars. So that's what we're going to Cabal therapy here. I think I get a hold priority here and cast it again right away.
Right.
And it's Dream Trawler.
Exactly.
And I think this is going to be our best route to winning, is just getting rid of his threats and leaving him with a Balance and a Calamity's Wake. Okay. Suppose I'll grab that, put it back in any order. So there's another situation where that Cabal Therapy is taking a game that might have seemed out of hand at first, and at least, not going to say it's going to win me the game, but it's going to definitely give me a really solid chance. Puts me back in it a bit. Alright, what did we draw? And what are we casting? Dig through time. That's a heck of a card.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we still know 2 of his cards that he has. But we are on the train where we get to start making tokens until he decides to balance me to death. And I think I kind of just want to get the balance over and done with here. And my clock is already in the red. I added like 5 minutes to what we each get, and I'm still using it up. I think every time we played in the previous matchups, they also went to time. Okay. Do you have to discard 2?
Yes.
Done.
I just played that as well. That was my bad.
Alright. Ooh. That colonnade is gonna be rough.
Should have cast the balance, hold priority, and cast the wake to get some value out of it. Oh well. So I was gonna discard it anyway.
And he's gonna actually kind of get wrecked on that play too. Because he got a bunch of power out, but he could easily have like a Terminus on top here and let me have it. Okay. So I wonder what he has. Alright. I guess we'll put that on top. Well, shoot, it doesn't matter because I'm about to mill it right now anyway, so. I'll cycle and get a land and play it. We kind of got to play fast here to try to beat this clock here. But he's basically got to have a Wrath here, or draw into a Wrath.
And I do not. GG, boy.
Okay. So I think, again, Dewey, I think this is a matchup that can go either way. Like, there's been games where I think I've won 2-0, you've won 2-0. But I think most of them come down to game 3. I think in this last game, Cabal Therapy kind of showed its power again. Yeah.
I think one thing in this matchup, like, that these 3 different matches have shown is, like, the Artifact hate or the Graveyard hate, like Dormont's Crypt or Relic or whatever, Soul Guide Lantern, that can be annoying, but sometimes you can just kind of like speed bump through it, whether if you have a Grim Flare to rebuild your graveyard or another Citrus Supplier or whatever. So it definitely shows some resiliency in that, like with against the like one-shot Artifact hate or the Graveyard hate rather than the like Rest in Peace sort of interaction.
Yeah, and I think that's actually true for most of the graveyard decks that I've seen in Value Vintage. Is Rest in Peace, Leyline of the Void are kind of the top tier ones. So. All right. We ended up going 3-0. It was kind of a tough fight. I think every game had something interesting to show. Comment down below if you have any other ideas for some decks or brews that I could dive into next. I want to try to do this just as frequently as I can. I can't be doing this every week or every month or anything like that, but I'd be interested to hear your guys' thoughts on the deck. And like always, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the other side.